Hello, Jerome.
Hello.
You're a philosophical practitioner working in Paris, France, and you work with groups and you work with individuals. And I understand that you sometimes use philosophical texts from the tradition, the philosophical tradition, in your work.
Yes.
Can you share with us, can you tell us a little bit about how you use philosophical texts in your work?
Yes. So we have two ways of using the philosophers. Whether we use text and we analyze text in groups or try to interpret them or make people reflect on the text in groups. We do rather this with groups. But the second way is that we the ideas or principles of some philosophers that we use a lot are embodied by our own practice.
So you don't mention them?
We do mention them when it's useful, but it's always we always come from the actual dialogue with individuals or groups, and we take the opportunity to call the philosophers and to enter the dialogue. If I may give some examples, we are much in favor of Socrates, for example. And we use the kind of way of dialoguing of Socrates to provoke people, to make them think, to try to know them better. So, for example, we use a mix of open and closed questions. For example, we say as an open question, "What do you think of justice?" For example. And the person would say blah, blah, blah. And then after we say, but do you prefer, in your speech, do you prefer this or do you prefer this? Which is an alternative. And we use this alternative, which is a very traditional Socratic way of doing this, to try to make the people decide in which side they are and to position themselves within the dialogue, especially useful in groups where most of the people we don't know where they're staying, what their world vision is, are they against or in favor of this opinion, for example. So it's very useful tools.
Do you sometimes bring a text of Socrates to the group?
Yes, for example, we use some, just to give you an example, there's a text called Le Menon, the Menon, I don't know in English. And is a text where Socrates questions a slave, and by questioning, he makes the slave understand that he knows a lot about geometry. He knows how to calculate, the diagonal of a square, And this slave is ignorant of geometry, but just by asking questions, Socrates shows him that yes, you have some knowledge, but you didn't know of. And we use a lot of this by questioning people. And people reveal themselves, yes, actually I have this knowledge. So it's a kind of funny way of using Socrates.
I see. But do you read together some of the text?
That can happen. Yeah, we can read dialogues from Plato in groups and say, what is technique Socrates using? Is he using the open question, the closed question? Is he using irony, in order to distract his interlocutor from himself? Is he using some narrative to help the people to go out of themselves? So that's how we use, let's say, Plato or Socrates.
What kind of workshops are there for whom?
Well, personally, I work on both individuals and groups. So individuals, it's people, they have I would say existential questions or existence-related questions like shall I resume with my studies? Why is it difficult for me to work with my friends? Am I a good person? What am I going to do with my life? Those sort of questions. The second group of people who are interested in philosophy, and they would like to know how it applies to thinking. For groups, when I use group, It's rather whether people want to have personal development. So we train them on specific skills or attitudes. The skills like, for example, to analyze, to synthesize, to interpret, to explain, but also to question, to object, or to conceptualize. And also attitudes like authenticity, confrontation, trust yourself, trust the others. And we use the power of the group, to enrich the discussion, but also so that the consciousness of the individuals is more vivid, because we use the group as a entity. Like we use Descartes, the French philosopher, because he spoke about common reason. And for us, common reason is embodied by the group itself. Yeah, for instance, somebody says, I don't know, he says any opinion, okay? And we will ask this person, do you think this opinion is only a personal opinion, or do you think it might be shared by others, okay?
Okay, let's do it more concrete. Yeah. Let's say that I say, I think that the most important thing in life is to be an academic.
Exactly, okay. You think that the most important thing in life is be an academic. And as I speak with some academics, some of them, they think their world vision is shared by a lot of people. And I will ask this person, if I ask the group, do you think that this opinion is widely shared, or do you think that it's a bit peculiar? And the person will say, I don't know. And I will say, but do you want to know? And if the person say, no, I don't care, and this tells me something about the person. He doesn't care about common reason, But if you say, yeah, let's see. And I will make a poll in the group, and I will question the group and say, okay, raise your hands, the ones who think that academic is the most important thing in the world. And if there are 10 people and only 2% share this opinion, and I will ask again the person, what do you think about?
Okay.
You see?
And how is, again, going back to the issue of text, how might you use a philosophical text, maybe by Socrates or Plato, in this situation?
Yes, well, the text is actually an object. So with the text, when you're reading a text, it's like you're entering a dialogue with the text and with yourself. So it's a way of mediation, okay? So, for example, we will read a sentence by a philosopher. This philosopher said this about this, okay? And we will ask the audience who has a question about this text.
Okay? Let's do it concrete. Let's say Socrates, the unexamined life is not worth living.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so the unexamined life is not worth living. For this text, I would say, who agrees with this? And who disagrees with this? And the one who disagree, that this is not, that this opinion, they disagree with it, this is wrong. They say, okay, if you disagree with this Socrates sentence, what can you object to it? What is your objection? What is wrong? Okay, and then I will ask for arguments and for examples. Then you start to make the people work on their own thinking. And then I will ask other people, because in doing this, you reveal your own world vision. So the other people in the audience, they know how you think. And I will invite other people to question this person and his world vision and to put it in question itself.
I see. Interesting. Can you give examples of other philosophers other than Socrates?
Yes. For example, as a French guy, I already told you Descartes, because again, common sense is very important, especially in group thinking, but also as individuals, because you would ask the person in confronting you, okay, what if you were speaking not to me, but to another person in the street? And this other person in the street, it also is common sense. And as Descartes says...
This also has common sense.
Yes. As Descartes say, we all share common sense. What is different from one individual to the other is how they use, what rules do they use to guide this common sense. So Descartes is one of our very good. Also Descartes, because we use the principle that if you are lost in the forest, it's better to take one direction and not be diverted. And once you're out of the forest, then you can see where you are. But if you constantly move direction, then you will for sure lost your way. So that's why we use this. For example, when we ask questions to somebody and he say, "I don't know what to answer this question," I say, "Okay, go for any answer." And then
you maybe you would read or quote.
Yeah, we could quote, because this is in Descartes' text. This is in I don't know, le traité des passions, the treaty of passions. This is written in Descartes. Also le discours de la méthode, the speech on method. Okay. We also use, for example, Leibniz, a German philosopher, with this principle of sufficient reason. And we use it in the way that it happens sometimes that people say, they say an opinion, okay? They have an opinion. And we say, but why do you say that? And sometimes people say, I don't know why I say that, or it's just like this. And for us, saying just like this, it has no meaning. It's impossible, because Leibniz say, everything which happened in the world has a sufficient reason. So we need to find this sufficient reason, and we need to question that person, so that he can give at least one reason for his speech.
I understand. Good. Let me ask you a last question. What would be a good session for you? One that you come out and you say, oh, that was a good session, as opposed to a session where you would say, well, it didn't go very well.
Yeah, I would say a good session is a session where we got the individual to think, okay, where we saw that he saw a problem. He saw the problem in his thinking, he saw the problem in his life, and he is able to solve it himself. Because usually most of the people, they're able to solve their own problems. The problem is rather than they are confused about this problem. So when I have a session where I get the person to rationalize and to formulate a clear problem, even if the problem is not solved, I think this could be a good session. And in a group, a good session is a session where, you know, the global level of consciousness has been enhanced, where people say, yeah, now I understand why this person told me this in the past, or I understand why he behaves like this, you know?
Okay, very interesting. That is quite an optimistic
yes.
view, that with the help of reason, rationality, we can solve our problems.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.